Good morning. Thank you for that introduction, Teresa. I need to stand because I'm tall. I'd like to start out by asking you a question. Have you ever tried to meditate and sit quietly with your mind, but your brain said, nope, I'm not doing that. I've got problems to solve and a to-do list a mile long. Does this sound familiar? I see a lot of nodding heads, and just so you know, you're not alone, those of you who nodded your head. Maybe you've had the experience of trying to meditate and instead find yourself thinking about what that person said to you, or what you said to them, or did I forget to clean out the cat box? Oh, and we can't leave out the perpetual question of, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? A lot of people think that meditation is about making our minds completely blank. We're supposed to sit in silence thinking about nothing, right? We see this image everywhere, in movies, TV, and pop culture, the silent Zen monk, the calm Buddha, the perfectly enlightened person sitting in peaceful silence, not a care in the world. Now, I'm not saying that those people don't exist. They do, but you don't have to be like that to meditate. It's not just for people who are already enlightened. It's for the rest of us too. People with busy monkey minds, people with lots of commitments and responsibilities. Meditation still works for us in a very simple and real way. I first got interested in meditation in my 20s because I had read about its many amazing benefits. I had the knowledge and the motivation, and I knew it would be good for me, but I just couldn't sit still long enough to make it a habit. My brain was too overly active and too restless. Because I didn't know then what I know now, I gave up. Sadly, I had resigned myself to the fact that meditation just wasn't for someone like me. But the benefits I had read about in my 20s never quite left my mind. And several years later, I decided to try meditating again. I remember being at work and thinking that, I'll try and meditate for a few minutes. So I'd either hide in the bathroom or an empty conference room. But work always won out. The conference room needed to be used, or someone came into the bathroom and that was my cue to exit. So I gave up again. I figured my life was just too busy to fit in meditation. But little did I know back then, I was actually planting the seeds for becoming a meditator later in my life. Since then, I've learned that meditation is not about erasing your thoughts. It's not about reaching some state of perfect enlightenment with a completely blank mind. The human brain is designed to think, and that doesn't stop during meditation. It's always making lists and solving problems and looking for trouble, whether we ask it to or not. So here's the key. Meditation is about noticing our thoughts again and again and again. When the wandering mind starts up, think to yourself, there I go again. I'm planning, I'm worrying, I'm judging, I'm anticipating. And then after you notice the thought and acknowledge it, you gently and without judgment or shame, bring your attention back to the present moment. I just let you in on the secret to meditation. The piece of the puzzle I did not have in the past when I thought I was failing every time. So when your mind wanders during meditation and you bring your attention back, even if it takes dozens of times, that is the practice. It's not a failure. It's exactly how meditation is supposed to go. Did you know this? I didn't. And that gap in knowledge is the whole reason I wrote off my earlier attempts as failures, when really I was just missing this one vital piece of the puzzle. So what did it take for me to finally call myself a meditator? Well, who remembers March of 2020? Yeah, me too. Turns out, sometimes the entire world has to shut down just to get my attention. By the end of 2020, more than 30 states in the US, including Indiana, had issued an executive order declaring a public health emergency because of a new deadly virus, COVID-19. The simple things we usually relied on, seeing friends, going to work or school, sharing coffee after service, even sitting right here in this sanctuary, were no longer allowed. We had to protect one another by staying away from one another. While we needed to do those things, it took something deeply human away from us. We were deprived of community and from the everyday moments of connection that help us feel safe, grounded, and less lonely. And it was during this strange and scary time that our beloved former minister, Jamie Hinson Rigger, started a meditation gathering online using something called Zoom. There's Jamie. I am not exaggerating when I say this group made a monumental difference in my mental health, because things felt incredibly heavy and sad. I felt myself tanking fast. I knew I needed to do something to help lift me up again. Being with that small, steady group of people, showing up together every day was so healing. It was exactly what I needed to pull me up from my mental health slump. The group was a light at the end of a long, dark tunnel. And as if that alone wasn't awesome enough, it was also a catalyst for change. Meditation group reignited the spark in me, the person who had always wanted to meditate but didn't really know how. So the Beatles weren't wrong when they said, "I get by with a little help from my friends." This time, if I failed at meditation, at least I knew I would be in good company. The meditation group was meant to help get us through a brief moment in time. It was not meant to go on and on. I knew that one day our little group would end, and I was wrong. I don't think any of us imagined that we'd still be gathering more than 6 years later, but here we are. Our little group is like the Energizer Bunny. We just keep going and going and meditating and meditating. And I think I have a slide for that. There we are. Raise your hand if you currently participate or have ever participated in the UUI meditation group. Yay, they're out there, my wonderful meditators. Thank you. So in case you are curious, those of you who haven't ever joined us, the format of our group is very simple. We begin each meditation at exactly 10:05 a.m. After we meditate, we take turns checking in and sharing thoughts about our practice and also what's happening in our lives, sort of like a mini joys and sorrows session. If this sounds interesting to you, please join us. Over the past 6+ years, our group has explored many different types of practices because there's not one single way to meditate. We are creative and we enjoy experimenting with different types of meditations. Sometimes we listen to chants, sometimes we do a body scan, and my personal favorite is something called Yoga Nidra. If you're not familiar with it, Google it, go to YouTube, Yoga Nidra. I love it. We've meditated with poetry as well as beautiful works of art and much, much more. But we are not just experimenting. There's real science behind why meditation works. Studies show that consistent meditation, what's consistent? That's about 10 to 20 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week, can reduce cortisol levels and stress reactivity, lower blood pressure, improve sleep, increase memory and focus, help regulate our emotions, and much, much more. Beyond all the scientifically proven health benefits, meditation offers even more. It helps us remember who we are beneath all the noise and the hustle and the bustle of our lives. Because so much of life pulls our attention away from ourselves, meditation asks us to gently turn our attention inward, to pause, to be still and tune in to our body, to listen and notice what's going on. How am I feeling today? What do I need? And when we do this regularly, something interesting starts to happen. We realize that our thoughts are temporary. Thoughts are not always facts. We realize that our emotions are temporary. They come and they go. Even our worries are temporary. How many times have you worried about something that never actually happened? I'm really good at this one. Yeah, me too. And sometimes meditation brings unexpected connections both within ourselves and with others. One of those connections led me to two wonderful people, Dan and Beth Hinkle. I'm sure many of you knew them and loved them as they were active members of this church for many, many years. Sadly, Beth passed away last January, and Dan passed away in April of 2023. After Dan's passing, Beth continued leading meditations solo. One of Beth's favorites was the Pebble meditation that Teresa shared during the Words for All Ages. And even while navigating her own grief, Beth brought warmth, steadiness, compassion, and a calm joy to her meditations. And her presence didn't stop there. The stones you held during Joys and Sorrows this morning were Beth's contribution to this congregation. The stones were used in Dan's celebration of life. So the Hinkle spirits are still here with us, woven into the life of UUI. Beth and Dan also had wonderful sense of humor. At one point during the lockdown, they wrote a poem about our group. And I can still see Dan, a smiling Dan, darting across the parking lot, so excited to hand one of these poems to me. And it goes like this. There once was a group of UUs with similar spiritual views. They'd gather most gaily to meditate daily and conquer the quarantine blues. Although this poem sounds lighthearted, there is something profound here. Yes, we were practicing meditation and trying to make the best of a terrible time. But what we were also doing during those months was practicing resilience. We needed resilience then, and we still need it now. Meditating didn't eliminate the challenges of the pandemic, nor does it eliminate the challenges that we face today. But it helps me remember that even when the world feels uncertain and quite frankly very, very scary, I can still find moments of peace and tap into my inner strength. Shortly after joining the group, I found myself meditating on my own outside of meeting times. Whoa. And it's something I still look forward to every day. So how about we practice together right now? And who knows, maybe this brief meditation will light a spark in you. I'll be leading you through a shortened version of a meditation called Loving Kindness, or metta meditation. We do this in groups sometimes. You can stay seated right where you are. If you feel comfortable doing so, gently close your eyes. Or you can keep your eyes open if that feels better. You could lower your eyes or soften your gaze. Now take a slow belly breath in through your nose and slowly breathe out through your nose. You should feel your belly moving out and in as you take your breaths. If you'd like, you can place your hand on your belly to feel this movement. See if you can slow down your breath just a little bit. Keep breathing in and out through your nose as you listen to my words. Notice the feeling of the breath entering your nose. The air might feel cool. Notice the feeling of the breath leaving your nose. The air might feel warm. Say silently to yourself, "There's nowhere else I need to be right now. There's nothing else I need to do at this moment." Stay with your breath. And if your mind begins to wander, that's completely normal. As soon as you notice your wandering mind, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Next, I'd like you to bring to mind someone who has helped you through a difficult or sad time. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or someone who is no longer alive, but whose kindness still lives in your heart. Can you picture their face? What are they wearing? If you'd like to, place a hand over your heart and repeat after me, either out loud or silently to yourself, and send your person this wish. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Keep taking slow, deep breaths. And now let's extend that same wish to yourself. If you'd like to, give yourself a big hug and repeat after me, or think to yourself, "May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Keep breathing slowly in and out with deep belly breaths as you gently place your hands on your lap. Now, let's extend this loving kindness wish to everyone here in our beloved community. Then expand your awareness to include our city, our state, our country, and finally, the whole world. Turn your palms up toward the sky and repeat after me. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Let's take one more slow, deep belly breath together, breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, slowly begin to move your fingers and wiggle your toes. Open your eyes if you closed them and notice the space all around you and all those beautiful faces. Take them in with a smile. Know that you can return to this practice of loving kindness anytime you wish. It's always there waiting for you. Thank you for meditating with me. As we close, I'll leave you with this. Meditation is a beautiful practice that connects us to our inner selves. Never forget that you carry a peaceful place inside of you. This place is always available to return to, no matter how many times your mind wanders away from it. In the words of Mary Oliver, keep your mind on what matters, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. May it be so for everyone, everywhere. Amen.